Hi friends, my name is Bhavya Mangla. I'm IATF qualified auditor doing audit for the automotive sector for the last 18 years. I'm again back with a very interesting topic, and that is what exactly is a poison test. Well, in general, if you go to an airport and you'll find that there are a lot of security is there where your bag is being checked, that whether anything is there which is not allowed and all that. But who is checking about those security personnel that whether they are checking it rightly or not? So many a times the higher authority, they very knowingly they used to put some say sharp object or something which is not allowed and just see that whether the security people are actually finding that or not. And if they are not finding it, it is a result of maybe they are not very concentrating on that, or maybe the equipments are not very good to identify that, and then they take some action. Something similar is happening in the poison test also. And it's important to understand I'm not talking about poison distribution. I'm talking only about a poison test, which is a very popular technique, especially in the automotive sector, wherein the objective is to see that the inspectors who are working in different stages of the organization, whether they are able to identify the wrong parts, the parts which are not fulfilling to the requirement of the customer or not. So that's precisely is about poison test. To talk a little bit more about poison test, when we talk about poison test, the intent is to see that whether all the inspectors are consistent in identifying any visual or any dimensional error, and in case they have any reference model or any reference sample with them, are they able to give the right kind of performance every time or not? And if they are not, then what needs to be done? So another question that comes is what exactly is the purpose of the poison test? So the purpose of poison test is first of all to ensure that all the inspectors at different stages of the production, it can be incoming, in process or final, should meet the specification or the required standards which are specified. And the second point is to test whether the inspectors are able to identify all the defective parts in case they are mixed with the okay part, and then that becomes additional qualification apart from the skill metrics that we make with respect to that. Now the next step comes is how to conduct this particular study. So its study is very simple. So let's take an example that we will take 20 different pieces, out of which 10 pieces are good and 5 pieces are not good. And those 15 pieces which is good and 5 they are mixed together, and then after that they are being given to the inspector to see that whether they can identify those 5 not good pieces or not. If they can find those 5 not good pieces, it means they are qualified and they are competent. But if they do not, so that's an indicator that there is some problem with respect to either their competence, their understanding, or maybe whatever reference samples that have been given to them, they are not accurate enough to give that information that they can catch all that. So it means some sort of a retraining is required to all those people. So this is a basic methodology which is being used with respect to the poison test. So that brings another thing, that what should be the frequency of the poison test. So as such, it is up to the organization to decide what should be the frequency of the test that needs to be done. But depending upon the criticality of the process or the product or maybe the customer requirement, organization can decide what can be the frequency of that. So it can be weekly, monthly, quarterly, 6 monthly, annually. It entirely depends upon the criticality of the process. Another important thing here is that apart from the result of the poison test, that how many inspectors have been able to identify good pieces from the bad pieces, another important thing is to identify the defect escape rate. So when I say defect escape rate, the intent is that in case something has gone to the customer or maybe to the next stage, how much is the quantity and how much is the impact of that. If we can calculate that, then that will also give some information with respect to the effectiveness of that poison test or the effectiveness of the competence of the people. Now another important point is that when we are doing this poison test, what are the possible benefits that organization can get from that? So first and the foremost, the most important benefit is that the reliability of the inspection process improves. Secondly, whenever we are doing it, the competence of the inspectors who are working on the shop floor, that also enhances. Thirdly, the internal rejection or the external rejection, that also gets reduced because the system of inspection becomes better. And fourth and the most important thing is the customer satisfaction also gets improved, because now the customer feels more comfortable that yes, the product that is coming is good and it is not going to impact in any way to their production process. To talk about some of the key industrial challenges with respect to the poison test or with respect to the competence of the inspector. The first and the foremost is that even though we are doing poison tests, how often the organizations are actually confident about their inspector that yes, since they have qualified poison tests, they are competent. That's an important question to think over it. The second important point is that yes, we are doing the poison test, but how often we are making sure that we are doing it periodically so that we can assess that the competence of people is still there or not. That needs to be seen, because many times it is being observed that it is just done once and after that we forget to do that. And third and the most important is how often it is being seen in the industry that the poison test is just done on paper and actually we never use the inspector, and just to fulfill some requirement that yes, we made a skill matrix and all the inspector which are there, they are qualified. So if I do a summary, I talked about what exactly is a poison test, what is the purpose of poison test, what is the steps that we need to do with respect to the poison test, what should be the frequency of the poison test, what are the benefits that organization can get by doing a poison test, and finally, what are the challenges that industry is facing with respect to this particular test. My next video will be with respect to the embedded software. You know that in automotive sector, embedded software is becoming a very, very important and integral part of any vehicle. So I'll be talking about it. Well, regularly I'm getting a lot of feedback from your side and they're helping me to understand your expectation. So please do continue that. And in case you want to understand about this particular video a little bit in more detail, you'll find a link below. If you click that, you'll find a blog there. And there you'll find this information in much more detail. And in case you're liking these kind of videos and blogs, you can always share with your friends and colleagues. And you can subscribe to my YouTube channel and my website, bhavyamangla.com. Thank you.